next big event in Major League Baseball's, seasonal timeline is the trade deadline. Thursday, July 31st, 6 p.m. That's when we have that final no waiver deadline like we've had in the last few years. It's just been the final deadline. So I got a couple names here. I'm going to name them. You guys tell me one team you think is a good fit and if they will cost a team's top 5 prospect. Not as a full deal, but like, will a top 5 prospect be involved in the deal for this person? And we're going to start off with a rental from Arizona at third base, a Eugenio Suarez.
I mean, we've been going back and forth in this, but I'm going to say the Yankees. I think that this would be a move to give them the no doubt best lineup in the AL and potentially the best lineup in all of baseball once you get playoff Stanton going at his highest level. 1 through 7 could take you deep at any moment, and this will be a powerful lineup. And, as we're seeing tonight, Oswald Peraza, not the answer at third base. It is the most dire position of need for the Yankees. The fit is like a glove, and I do think it will cost a top 5 prospect to get it done.
John, what do you think?
It's hard to argue with what Dylan said, but I'm going to go with, I think he fits with the Cubs too. So, the Cubs, I think they have like John Birdie at third base. They can definitely use Geno Suarez, add more power to that lineup. And if the Cubs are looking to make a push to be like a World Series contender and probably, go deep in the playoffs, you definitely need more power bats. And I, like Dylan said, I do think you're going to have to move a top 5 prospect to get him.
Next name we have on the list, we got Mitch Keller. He's got 3 years, $54.5 million left on his current deal, so about 3.5 years left total. Right-hander out of Pittsburgh. Where do we think? And is he going to cost a top 5 prospect?
So similar to Suarez, that's another name that's been floating around Yankee land. I don't see him landing in Yankee land. I go back and forth. I think the San Francisco Giants are a decent spot for him. I don't think I trust their rotation as it is to be 3, let alone 4 deep in a playoff run, and I don't think he would cost a top 5 prospect.
See, I was thinking maybe Yankees, because you got Yankees, I feel like need another pitcher in the rotation. But I do like the Giants. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's actually a really good fit because they do need more pitching, especially with the Devers trade, and they offloaded some pitching there, so that would be really good. I also think maybe Boston or even like the Cubs again, because I think you're looking at teams that are looking to be in the playoff mix-up and maybe take a shot at going deep there. So looking at any teams there to
the only problem with the Cubs is in division, I feel like there's enough options to get them out of the division.
Yeah, but I think Boston, Giants, Yankees.
I think for the Cubs, it would cost a top 5 prospect.
Probably for the Cubs, but all the other teams we mentioned, probably not at all.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be like an in-division tax. And now we'll go on to another starter because starting pitching is a premium, right? Now, this guy's a rental from Arizona, Merrill Kelly. He's a righty. On the older side, he'll be 37 in the playoffs. So, good pitcher, but age is a factor.
So Merrill Kelly is the guy that I see the Yankees going after. I think you get both in a deal, Suarez and Kelly. That's kind of the deal that I'm eyeing, that I expect the Yankees to make one of their maybe 2-3 deals that I could see them going after. Again, we've talked about this at length on the pod, but I think that Merrill Kelly is a fine number 4 for a playoff run where New York doesn't have 4 arms right now that I trust in a playoffs. And, I like Fried, I like Rodon, I like Luis Gil. That's it. And you need 4 arms. And whether, we're talking Stroman, Will Warren, I would rather a veteran in Merrill Kelly out there that at least has been consistently decent over the last few years. He's been better than Marcus Stroman, that's for sure. And I don't think he himself would cost a top 5 prospect, but like I mentioned, I think it's a package deal for the one that I'm talking about with the Yankees. So I guess in a way he would, require a top 5 prospect.
I'm gonna go with Merrill Kelly. I think maybe going to like Houston or maybe Toronto.
All right.
I just feel like because you're just like other teams. I feel like Toronto's always looking to make a move. Like they're always looking to sign players. They're always looking to make moves. I mean, they're surging right now. I mean, do they make do they make a trade to go get more pitching? So, and I didn't considering like Merrill Kelly's agent stuff. I don't think top 5 prospect at all to get him.
Now, how about Ramon Laureano, who's a rental from Baltimore, outfielder? Former A, bounced around a little bit. Believe he had a PED suspension, but somebody who's known for great defense and has a positive WAR right now.
When you say outfielder, you have to think about the Philadelphia Phillies at this point. They're certainly in need of some outfield depth, I would say. I also think you got to think about the Los Angeles Dodgers. Michael Conforto has been really, really bad. Obviously, you could move Edman out there and they could have an infielder. Mookie Betts, the same deal. So there's a lot of flexibility with them. But to be able to get Michael Conforto out of the lineup would be a big plus for the Dodgers. So I'm going to land on them with this move.
As much as I don't like I always see people saying Phillies need outfielders. I mean, this would be a good fit for Philly to go after because I feel like you don't have to give up too much. You get good defense and stuff, and I mean, you have Kepler doing not great at all. So like, this is if you're gonna go after an outfielder, this is a guy I guess you'd go after.
Brings defense too.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, they need defense more than
they need
offense.
defense.
I don't know why. It just feels like he's a guy that's been a Philly. Like, I feel like a guy like him always ends up in Philadelphia. Just somebody who plays great defense in center field, not that great of a hitter, but just, fills in when they need him in the outfield, especially in October, and always has like a big hit or two.
Yeah, especially since the Phillies don't seem to be pulling the trigger on bringing Crawford up yet. So I mean, if they're not going to do that or don't have any intent to do that anytime soon, they gotta get the defense sorted out in the outfield there.
Next guy up is from the White Sox, rental righty Adrian Hauser.
A lot of teams obviously need pitching. For some reason, it feels a little Mets-esque to me, even though they don't. Just another arm in their random mix there.
Well, he was a Met, I believe, and they DFA'd him last year in like June.
I mean, it won't cost a lot to bring him back. That's for sure. Maybe that's an arm that the Texas Rangers go after. Just as a team that could use pieces, I'm not really feeling a strong lean, so I'll go Rangers there.
Who's this?
This is Adrian Hauser.
I've never even heard of this guy.
Oh, it's a scrub, that's why. He's a nobody, John. He's a nobody.
Adrian Hauser.
So that means he's going to be a Philly.
Honestly, I can see it.
John's
they love to trade for pitchers who are like nothing, give up like nothing for them.
John's never heard of him, so now he's going to serve up a big home run in October, and he'll never forget his name again.
I mean, to me, Hauser feels like more of a long relief bullpen arm for a contending team.
And honestly, and the Phillies need that. They need bullpen arms. Any guy that comes up just automatically Phillies.
Speaking of a bullpen arm, this is one that the Phillies are not allowed to trade for. I forbid it. Stay away. Duran of the Twins He's got 2.5 years left on his deal. Phillies, you can't have him. He's a Yankee.
I mean, the Yankees are obviously a team that I think should be in on Duran. Me and Corey behind, the curtain here have had many conversations at this point. He's not going to like my answer. The Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers lose Devin Williams to the Yankees. Didn't get an exact closer back. Go with McGill, who's been solid for them, but I think they'd much prefer him in a setup role. And if you could bring in a closer like Duran, Trevor McGill to Duran as an 8-9 combo for the 8th and 9th inning could be a good way to close out some postseason games.
John, don't say Phillies. Don't do it.
No, I mean, you sure I can't say Phillies? I mean, I just really think the Phillies really, really, really need a closer, really, really bad, and I'd be willing to give up quite a bit to get a shutdown closer.
Sounds like John's willing to give up a top 5 prospect in this.
I'm willing to give up a top 5 prospect.
Are you willing to give up Abel or Crawford?
Abel, 100. I think they should trade.
Crawford?
I think if the Phillies are going to do anything, they should give Abel up. I don't think they should give Crawford up, but they should. I think Abel's going to go. And
I don't think they should give Crawford up, but I think they should definitely get a closer.
They should definitely give a closer. I mean, I feel like you can package guys together because I feel like the Phillies. I feel like this.
You don't have to give up Crawford to get a closing pitcher.
No, but I feel like you can give Abel up. I personally think they should think about trading Stott because if they're going to platoon him all the time, what's the point? Like, just you can bring up another guy and just platoon him anyway, and then Stott can start on another team. And I feel like they should look at doing that. I mean, I would have said Bowen would have been a trade piece, but he's hurt now with fractured ribs, 10-day IL. But I'm just saying, like you have guys you can move around there. I mean, I think Marsh is
smart of Alec Bohm.
Yeah,
get hurt right before the trade deadline. That way he can't be traded.
But I think there's a lot of guys that I'd be willing to move to get a closer, especially with how they are managing the team right now with platooning players and stuff.
All right, next one is the starter from the Marlins. He's got 3 years left, so very controllable. Edward Cabrera.
Ooh, see, not the starter from the Marlins I thought you were going to bring up.
Yeah, I thought
we were headed to a Sandy Alcantara. Edward Cabrera, though, oh, man, I hate it.
They're going to trade him
but
to the
I love
Yankees
it.
for a bag of chips.
No, I hate
He
it.
Red Sox, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I hate it, but I love it. I hate it for us. It feels like the move for them. Boston gets another stronger, younger
Would it take a Marcelo Meyer or a Christian Campbell? He's a very controllable starter with a void at, young, controllable starting pitching on the market.
Maybe Marcelo Meyer. You have Bregman locked up, and he plays third. Obviously, he could play short as well, but, obviously not a Roman Anthony. Not a chance that I'm moving him if I am the Red Sox. I'm moving Jarren Duran to play Rowan Anthony. I don't know if we're going to get to Duran, but, that's what I'm doing in that situation. Yeah, Marcelo Meyer. They have a lot of infield guys, Toro, Rafaela, Bregman, Story. Like, they're doing solid right now. So, as hot as they've been playing, it looks like they're going to make the playoffs, and they lack in starting pitching. Obviously, you have Garrett Crochet, who could be the Cy Young winner. Brian, Bayo's been solid. You have Buehler and Giolito, but Cabrera with the control, I think, improves the rotation this year and going forward into the future.
What do you think, John?
Where it is? Convinced they're going to trade him away to like the Yankees for literally nothing, because that's what the Marlins do. They always do.
Whoa, nothing.
They always do.
Whoa.
They just trade away their players for nothing.
We took on a massive contract that we're still paying in Stanton, and we couldn't even get Yelich or Ozuna in that deal.
Who is the best catcher on the Marlins right now?
The Marlins they can't, like, the Marlins had, like, they just, every good player they get, they just give away and give away and give away, and they don't, and they just, it feels like they get nothing in return that actually helps them build their team.
Who's the Phillies catcher right now?
JT.
I wonder where he was before the Phillies.
He's at the Marlins, and then they traded him away. For, was it,
Classic Marlins.
I feel like, what was it? I think that was at the
So between Ramuto
Tampa.
and Jesus Luzardo, I feel like the Phillies have benefited from the Marlins and their giving away guys for free.
Ineptness? Yeah. Absolutely.
So maybe it's another pipeline.
I'm just saying the Marlins are just a bad organization. That's all I'm saying.
Now, how about 1.5 years left, reliever from the Pirates, David Bednar?
Ooh. Pennsylvania to Pennsylvania. Bednar to the Phillies.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking the Phillies might.
You've been thinking that about every reliever.
No, hear this. I think the Phillies go. They get a two-for there. They go after Dennis Santana too, and Bednar. Give up, give
and
up some
Duran.
guys there and get
Wow.
two. No.
The
I
new
mean, no. Like, if
bullpen.
they can't get Duran, I mean, I would like.
No,
to see
you're
a
not
lot.
allowed to get Duran. He's a Yankee. Get over it.
Well,
He's
see,
not gonna
they
be a
can't. They
Yankee
can't get
either.
him because he's a Yankee already. That's what we see. So, like, I think they do a package deal here. Go after Bednar and Dennis Santana there, and get two relief pitchers. And I
Are you giving
probably
up
going to have to give up some
prospect
guys
for both of them then?
They probably are going to have to give up a top 5 prospect to get both of them. But I mean,
remember how much Tanner Scott went for last year?
Yeah, wasn't he? He was like what?
Or
a 5 prospect trade?
Didn't the Phillies trade for a reliever last year and give up a lot?
They traded for Banks, and I think gave up. I think really low A pitching prospects, and then they traded for Estevez and gave some guys up. Then they also traded for Chance Moses, another starting pitchers. They gave up starting pitchers from the Orioles. And he was actually doing really good, but now he has to get Tommy John surgery.
Now let's go to the next one. We got right fielder with 1.5 years left from Texas, Adolis Garcia. The Rangers may find themselves as sellers.
Yeah, I don't think he gets moved. Not a name I was prepared for. When I think about teams that could use bats, though, San Francisco comes to mind again, potentially. Milwaukee, I don't hate that.
Seattle.
In division, so tough. You know who's interesting? The Mets. Jesse Winker's on the IL right now. So is Starling Marte. Do they want to add some additional pop to the lineup?
It's just that Soto and Garcia both can't play anywhere other than right field.
Well, you DH one of them.
I guess you could, but the Mets seem to have liked leaving it open, and then Vientos has been somebody who they want to DH while they have Beatty play third.
I mean, I heard they're trying to trade Vientos for some high-level players.
Yeah. Somebody's smoking something. There was a story in the New York Post, I believe it was, or just a story in general from Jim Bowden, and he said that the Mets would like to get Jason Dominguez from the Yankees for Mark Vientos, or at the very least, trade Brett Beatty to the Yankees for either Trent Grisham or Cody Bellinger, if they had to settle for something.
Yeah, so I think they settle on Adolis Garcia.
This must be what Met fans felt like when it was the Yankees saying, "Oh, we'll trade you guys like last year of his career, Brett Gardner for Brandon Nimmo." Just really embarrassing stuff.
Oh, New York.
John, do you think Adolis gets traded?
Maybe, but probably not. But if he does get moved, and I know we just talked about a lot of stuff, but I mean, I see constantly. I mean, we talk about you have Kepler doing bad for the Phillies and stuff, and Garcia would address a lot of their outfield
John
loss.
is just like the Phillies, man.
I
Instead
am.
of getting a good defensive outfielder, let's
This
get
is what they're
another
gonna.
bat that can
That's
barely
what I
play
mean.
defense.
This is what they do, though. This is what they do. This is what the fans.
This
This
is
is
what
all I
you
see the
did.
fans want.
You just did it. You fell
I
have a-
for
know.
it.
I have a
can
list
get
of
another
like 10
Bauer
or
back.
11 names. Every single one of them is a Philly.
Everyone's a Philly. Yeah, everyone's a Philly. Just no, but I mean, really, maybe I would think realistically, maybe San Diego or San Francisco
There you
if
go.
he does get moved.
Now he's not a Philly all of a sudden.
No.
Now, how about
Just saying. it's
John's
possible.
favorite reliever, Felix Bautista from the Orioles, with now 2.5 years left on his contract?
Oh, I wonder
Philly?
what John's gonna say.
If they're a relief pitcher, they're a Philly.
I don't know how. So don't ask me where he fits or why it would happen. Dodgers.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Don't ask for reasoning, but
And do they give
somehow,
up a top
some
five
way,
pick for a top five prospect for him?
somehow they don't.
I honestly, that completely tracks. That makes out of all the stuff we said all night, that makes the most sense.
I know I can see Bautista going to a team like the Cubs.
Hey, I'd prefer anywhere than what I just said. So
John, anywhere else besides the Phillies, or is he just a Philly?
What about Detroit? I feel like Detroit's up there. I don't know how good their bullpen is, but I feel
There's
like
no such thing as a good enough bullpen.
yeah, but I feel like you can always use more bullpen arms.
Right.
yeah, I mean they got Will Vest, Canely, Holton. And that's their main three there. So they could definitely have another arm.
And it's just the fact that he's controllable still for like 3 more years. So that's
Yep.
probably a really,
And he's had a
really
really
big
high
for them.
peak as well. Like
Yeah,
not
I
at
think he
this
just
exact
came
moment.
back from Tommy John.
he just came back from injury, so he's probably not going to be like 100% off the bat. But I mean, this is kind of like a more of a like this year trade, but also like for next year too.
Yeah.
So
Now, last name I have here is Jarren Duran, outfielder from Boston. 3.5 years left. They love him. They hate him in Boston. He's not the greatest outfielder. Definitely doesn't really know the position as well as you would think for somebody who's been playing it as long as he does. But, last year he showed a lot of flashes of what he could be. Took a step back this year, but that talent is in there. Where does he go, and does he cost a top 5 prospect?
After everything I made fun of John for, Philly. This is the outfielder that I think that they do go after and they do get. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if at the end of this weekend Boston just leaves him in Philadelphia, to be completely honest with you. Again, I think that they need to clear a spot for Roman Anthony. That's Jarren Duran's spot. Philadelphia needs an outfielder. He's got a good bat. Is he a perfect outfielder? No. Is he a Philadelphia Phillies outfielder? You bet. And
he just feels like Alec Boehm, but in the outfield.
I think he might cost a fringe top 5 prospect. The thing is, Boston wants to get off of him. So I think you could pay less, but additional pieces, or you could hover right around your 5th best prospect.
John, is he at Philly?
I've seen a lot of Phillies fans talking about getting him and wanting him. So it's hard to argue with that.
What a deadline
possible
for the Phillies.
I know I've even said like they'd go after. I know I've said like the Phillies are in talks for a lot of other outfielders and stuff, but like I think they should focus more on relief pitching first, and then once they get that locked up, if there's anyone left in the outfield, they address that. But I think the bullpen's more of a urgent need than sorting the outfield out. But with that being said, possibly. I think maybe you look at the Padres taking him, or hear me out, maybe the Braves. Now, even though the Braves are kind of behind here, I think possibly they can still make a wild card. And if not, it's definitely a good trade going into next season.
All right. Well, we'll see. We're going to pick this back up next week, or we'll be just a few days away from the deadline. We'll have a little bit more clarity on who's buyers, who's sellers, and who's available.